What's up, everyone? ODC, it's me here, and be sure to check out BigBoyCollectibles.com for all your action figure needs, whether it's DC Collectibles, Star Wars The Black Series, Marvel Legends, or G.I. Joe. BigBoyCollectibles.com will have it. Yo, Joe!
What's going on, everyone? ODC, it's me here. In today's review, we're going to take a look at Star Wars The Black Series, figure number 29 in the series. This is the Force Awakens C-3PO. Now, this is the single-carded release in the second wave of Rogue One, I believe, and for this year. The regular C-3PO is actually being released in a Walgreens exclusive. So, but here we can obviously tell that he's got his red arm here. That's what he looked like in The Force Awakens. His wires are actually a little bit mixed and mashed up here. Looks pretty good for the most part. And I actually picked this up at BigBoyCollectibles.com. Be sure to check out the link in the description below if you're looking for any Star Wars action figures. But I did pick this up at Big Boy Collectibles. And I really do actually like this figure more than I thought, even though he's quite hindered with articulation. But as we all know, us Star Wars fans, we all know that, I mean, he's not the most flexible of characters. He doesn't really move his arms a whole lot, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. But when I see my Bandai model kits, which usually run, I think, a couple bucks more than the Black Series here, or if I see, Revoltech or other companies giving us articulation in the arms, and we don't get it with the Black Series. I mean, I guess there's an argument to be made there that they should have it, but at that same juncture, it's not the biggest deal in the world if it doesn't. At least the sculpting is good. I would have preferred maybe a different color red for this arm, seeing as it's just basically a red plastic, which I'm not the biggest fan of, I'm gonna be honest with you. The armor's not as shiny as you would think it should be, I guess. It's kind of that, I mean, it is a little bit shiny, but it's not Bandai model kit shiny, you know what I mean? And I mean, just looking at the Bandai model kit, I mean, you can see it's night and day difference. This is probably what you want here. So, I mean, it's a little bit actually closer to the Revoltech, which I'll bring in right here. Here's the Revoltech C-3PO, which I think for a long time was the go-to C-3PO until the model kit came out. But, I mean, they could have even used the same kind of technology that Revoltech did for their piston joints right here. So, I mean, they could have went that route if they wanted to, just to get that little bit of extra bend. But there's pros and cons to both. Obviously, I like the length of this guy a little bit more. I think he's a little bit short, to be honest with you. I think this 3PO looks a lot better with the Black Series and R2-D2 than this guy does. So, but that's just my opinion, because I have the other ones. But taking a look at him, I think they did a really good job with the sculpting overall. I'm pretty happy with the head sculpt. It looks like 3PO. The wires are actually different on the Walgreens exclusive. That's something to point out as well. The sculpting of the wires are actually different. The Walgreens exclusive actually has straight down, up and down wires. So that's something to point out in case anyone was curious as to what are the big differences between those two figures. Obviously, the Walgreens exclusive is not going to have a red arm, but it does have a silver leg, very similar to this guy right here. So the Walgreens exclusive is going to look a lot more like this than this. Or actually, I should say, it's actually going to look, not the finish on it, but the overall look of it is going to look like this. As you can see, the wires are straight up and down here, where they're all kind of twisted and mangled here. As far as articulation does go with him, his head can look up about that far. He can look down. It can tilt side to side a little bit, and he can rotate full 360 if you need him to. The arms are on a swivel joint here, so he can put his arm up if you want, both arms up. He does have a hinge joint as well, so he can hinge back and forth or up and down, like so. He does not have a bicep swivel, really. The bicep swivel is kind of integrated into the shoulder, so it's kind of like a shoulder ball peg swivel. There's no articulation in the elbow at all, so that's pretty much it, and same thing goes on the other side. The hinge joint in the hands are pretty decent. There is black paint on both sides of the hands, which looks okay. It looks passable. And it does hinge in and out, both sides, in and out. And like I said, they do swivel on both sides as well. He does have the diaphragm joint, which can bend back actually pretty good, but the sculpting is stopped right here, which should continue. But he can crunch forward a little bit, and he can pivot side to side a little bit as well. He can swivel just a hair. I would have liked a little bit more range of movement with his swivel, but like I said, not the end of the world, I guess. He can't really do the splits, but he actually has way better range of motion than the Revoltech, which can't do splits at all. He can only move his legs forward and back, which is really awful, and his feet sit too close together, which is kind of a problem with this figure as well. As far as the model kit, let me just get him off his base here. The model kit can go out a little bit, but for the most part, he's pretty much back and forth as well. So he's a little bit hindered as well. I mean, not that you really need C-3PO to be doing splits anyway. It's not like he's going to be doing that. So legs can go forward. They kind of kick out to the side due to the sculpting here. So that's fully extended right there. No back movement due to the shaping or sculpting, I should say, of the rear end. He does have an upper thigh swivel, a single bend in the knees. Not that he needs a double jointed knee. It does point the toe nicely, and it can go up as far as a hinge joint and ankle pivot, and 2 peg holes at the bottom of his feet. So, I mean, what they should have given us and what we got are probably are two totally different things. For me, just to make this worthwhile, you could release one of these with C-3PO in a backpack for Chewbacca and kind of have straps on him so you can actually strap him to Chewbacca. I'm not saying this is a horrible figure. I actually like that his legs kind of separate a little bit more. I think that heightens the level of the quality for the figure, but the arms not having articulation and the fact that we got to buy this guy twice to get both versions that we want is kind of a pain in the ass. So, but here are the other C-3POs that I was talking about and I was comparing throughout the video. The Bandai model kit's definitely by far my favorite overall, and he actually can bend his elbows as well. So there's that bit of information as well. So, and he does have a ball peg joint at the arm, so you can actually get better range of motion with him, and he has removable hands, so he has multitude of hands as well. But I digress. Like I said, if you're a diehard fan, pick him up. If not, pass. That's pretty much what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.